Welcome to the Lauren Blackwell channel. I think we need to normalize allowing people to leave a chosen career field, especially one that's in the public eye, and moving to a completely different one without making them feel bad about it. Although I'm speaking specifically to the entertainment industry, I think this applies in every industry. Like if you're trying to start a business or just a career, even if you attended college and studied one thing and you need to change your career years later, it needs to be embraced, because what's the point staying in a career where you're not good at and you're better at other things that you could be putting your time and resources in? So I want to speak specifically to the entertainment industry and about rappers specifically. I think that people that have come into the rap industry to be rappers, and there've been lots and lots of people that have chosen rap as their way to earn an income. And I'm not talking about people that are passionate about rap, because there are people that are passionate about it, and then there are people that I guess they enjoy the hip-hop genre and they want to be part of it. They believe they can earn a good living, etc. So they come into the rap industry, and they are clearly, after multiple tries and many works and projects later, it is abundantly clear that they are not good at this particular type of music within the hip-hop genre. But for some reason, they dig their heels in, and they would not just see if they can be better at a different genre or better at an entirely different career. For some of them, we have seen them do other things, and they tend to shine in those areas. But it seems as though they have tied their own sense of success to winning in the rap industry, that if they're unable to win in rap, they feel as though they are losers. I don't know what it is exactly. I'm making assumptions here, but or perhaps they think they are people that are telling them that they just need to keep going at it, and eventually things will just sort of work out for the best, and they will wake up one day and become this great, amazing people that are very good at rap. But it has not happened yet. They have been trying and trying for a very long time. I'm not speaking about one specific person, because this applies to a lot of people in the music industry. I don't really see this in other genres of music, but there's something about rap where once people come in, they feel as though they absolutely have to stay. And even after they've tried to make it work and to be better at it, and they just still are not as good as they would like to be, they don't think to themselves, perhaps I should try a different genre of music, perhaps I should leave music altogether and focus on these other areas that I appear to be very good at. They don't think to do that. They just stay, and they continue to ruin the reputation that they have built for themselves when they first come in. A lot of the time when they first come in, they have this newness to them where they glow and people are full of anticipation on what they are going to deliver. But then after a while, it becomes obvious that they are really not cut out for this. They're not good at it. They have worked at it for many years, and they still are just not improving. It is okay, I think, to just try something else. Try some other area that you're better in. Put your resources, time, money, and energy in those areas, and you will explode in those areas. You will grow. You will do so much better. But to continue to dig your heels in and force yourself to stay in a career where you're clearly not good at and you're not improving, I'm not sure what good that does. Whatever you're gaining from the rap industry you will gain so much more in an industry where you're actually good at. That's the part that they don't seem to understand. And it's like, even if you have people around you telling you that you're good at something, at some point, don't you just like look at your own work? And as biased as you may be, can you not look at your work and compare it to all the other works out there of people that are at the same level as you, or maybe a level below you, and think to yourself, I don't think I'm putting out the same quality of work here. I've been trying to do this, it's just not working, I'm not improving, perhaps this truly is not for me. Do you not, is it completely impossible to do that and just move on? I understand there's this whole thing where people say that if you really want something, you need to keep at it. You don't give up that easily. That only applies if you're actually making improvement. If you're not making any improvement despite everything that you have tried, if you have been at it for many years, if you find yourself having to cheat and lie and just force it in so many different areas in order to convince yourself that you are good at it, if you're having to do all of this, then perhaps it's best if you just stop and focus on something you're actually good at. Society needs to normalize people doing this. Society needs to normalize a rapper that they have known for many years say, I have decided to no longer rap or no longer sing or no longer be in this particular business, and I'm going to begin to do X, Y, and Z instead, because I believe that if I put my resources into that area, I will truly improve and yada yada yada. Why is this not a thing? We need to make it a thing, because at the end of the day, who is really suffering here? It is the person who keeps struggling at something they genuinely, truly are just not cut out for. Competition is a crazy thing. Competition will make people stay in unpleasant situations. It will make people stay in situations that they should have left a long, long time ago. And on the other hand, competition can truly bring out the best in people. Like, it forces companies, individuals to bring out their best quality of work. Without competition, a lot of people will be lazy. They may not bring out the best of the best that they have in them the way they would if they're in a competition. But here's the thing. Competition can only bring out the best in you if you have it in you. If you do not have it in you, you will lose, and you will continue to lose. As long as you're in that competition, you will continue to lose that particular aspect that you're not good at. Any other aspect that you are good at, when you compete in that aspect, you will continue to improve because you have it in you. And you, especially if you're passionate about it, you will find the resources to help yourself improve and bring out the best. But you have to have it in you. If you do not have it, you can stay in that competition for as long as you live, and you will not see any improvement. That's just the way that it is. It is one thing if a person that is unskilled in a particular job is competing with another unskilled person, so they're competing on a level playing ground. But when someone who is not skilled is competing with someone who is skilled, what happens is that the person who is not skilled will continue to fail because they do not have the skill. They do not have it in them. Now, it depends on the type of work. Sometimes you can build a particular skill and build on it and grow it. But there are some types of work where if you don't have it in you, if you don't have the building blocks to begin with, there is nothing to build upon. And you will just continue to carry your mediocrity over and over and over, and you're competing with someone that does have the building blocks. And as they compete with you, they will continue to build upon themselves, and they will continue to improve. And before you know it, the gap between the both of you will be so large, so huge, it cannot be ignored, and they will continue to grow. That is what competition does to people that are good at something. It makes them better. And then people that are not good, competition breaks them down even more, because as they lose, they begin to perform even worse, because they are so dissatisfied with their own performance that it does not encourage them to put out their best work. Even if they want to put out their best work, they simply can't, because they do not have the building blocks to do so. And we need to just normalize people choosing something else. It doesn't even have to be a business. Honestly, some of these people can just go work a 9-to-5. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5 job. A lot of people have 9-to-5s and they're doing really well. They're making a lot of money. They have the stability of a regular paycheck. They're out of the limelight. They're living comfortably. It's okay. It's fine. If you try something, you give it your all, you give it many years, and you do not improve, just try something else. That thing might work. There are other areas that you have shown to have skill in, and that you're flourishing in. So you need to fan that flame and leave behind the stuff that you have tried that did not work. But to force yourself to stick around, to continue to be used by either people that surround you that are not being truthful, and they just want to use you for either money or to be associated with you so that they can stay around certain people that they admire, or to be used as a pawn in a fight between people that are so much bigger than you. How long will this continue? At what point do you say, okay, I need to stop being a pawn for other people and focus on my own career and things that I'm actually good at and flourish in those areas? What is wrong with creating a brand of an entirely different area of business and focusing on it, growing it, and just like building something that you're truly passionate about and you're skilled at? There's nothing wrong with it. It's okay. I encourage it, and people need to understand that they are allowed to do that by nature. They do not need anybody's permission, and they do not need their entourage to tell them when to move on to something else. They can decide for themselves, I am done with this. I'm moving on to a different area where I do not have any particularly huge competition, like someone that I have to compete with in the same way I have to do in, say, the rap industry, and I can just stay in that area and build that. It is okay. I want to touch on this whole thing with developing skills. So I have noticed that if you are the kind of person that do not take criticism, or when you make a mistake and the mistake is pointed out to you and you push back, you do not take constructive criticism or even non-constructive criticism and weigh it to see what applies, what doesn't, and then make improvements. If you do not have that kind of personality, growth will elude you every single time. Growth will always elude you, because that is what it takes to grow. Growing is looking at the areas that you fall short in and making improvements in those areas, doing something different other than what you have been doing. But if you fall short in an area, whether it is the area of the way you view things, the way you communication is huge, the way you express yourself, the way you interpret things, if at any time people bring your flaws to you or your mistakes to you and you push back and you refuse, you have that personality where you simply refuse to listen and take it into consideration and make changes, you will not grow. Growth will elude you, because that's you can't escape it. That is what growth is. Growth is listening to the people that are bold enough to tell you the areas that you need to improve in, and actually listening to them. And you may not have to take their advice, but you can at least consider what they are saying and make improvements. So when you typically say to people, oh, you can't tell me anything, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z, that is you saying, I'm not going to grow. I'm going to remain exactly the way I am. So if you find yourself not growing, perhaps this is your personality and you need to take a look at that. Finally, I want to end by saying, let's not allow our competition with other people keep us in unpleasant situations that is not helping us in the long run. Obviously, a lot of the times we will find ourselves in unpleasant situations and we can't always leave just because somebody else wants us gone or because we're in a competition. But I'm talking about if it's not serving you and you find yourself being humiliated in more ways than one. If you're not particularly good at it, just leave the competition. I've seen this happen in so many areas, not just the music industry. I know personally a lot of doctors who, after they graduated medical school, for instance, and when they find themselves not liking being a doctor, they think about the fact that they're competing with one person or the other and what those people will say if they're no longer doctors, and they compare their pay in their career as a doctor versus a different career, and all of this competition going on in their minds. Maybe the competition is real, but this competition will literally keep them in their career of medicine, which they hate. I know so many people who do this. I also know people in relationships where they're in a relationship with a person that's not worth the effort, but because they are in a competition with another woman and they don't want to be the ones that are no longer in a relationship, maybe they don't want to be the ones that is not married, they will stay in that toxic marriage with their toxic partners, suffering just because they're competing with another woman who's married and they do not want to come out as the loser. So they keep themselves there. This happens in so many different areas of life. I think it really boils down to insecurity. It's insecurity that causes people to put themselves or to remain in these kinds of environments or situations where it's not serving them, but because they're competing with somebody else and the person they're competing with is winning in that area, they force themselves to remain in that particular thing, even though they're clearly losing. But as long as they're in it, they have convinced themselves that they're winning just because they haven't left yet. If we are presented with criticism, we need to at least consider it. Not all criticisms are constructive, obviously, so we need to consider them and see which ones apply to us. Take the ones that apply, use it to improve on ourselves, and leave the rest on the table. I think that this is how we will grow in whatever career that we want to grow in. Instead of just not taking criticism, staying in that particular career, like in this case in the rap industry, not improving, and then constantly torturing people with your projects that is just unpleasant to experience. It's just so exhausting to see people that are obviously not cut out for something and they keep going at it, and you're just like, okay, what about these other things that you're good at? I mean, can you just focus on those? It is exhausting. It is exhausting to see, and I'm tired of seeing it. And it's like, what's not clicking? Like, you have tried a lot. You have put in a lot of effort. Okay, but if you keep having to cheat to just barely stay afloat, then just let it go. Focus on what you're good at. It's okay. I do this all the time. I've done this many times. I advocate for it, and I will continue to do it. I'm not saying just keep quitting, but put in genuine effort for a reasonable period of time. After you do that, if it becomes clear that things are just not improving, it is okay to pivot. That's it. That's all. Until next time, bye guys.